Hi, this is Margo. This is Sunday morning, December 29th, 2019. And I'm pretty hoarse today. I'm not feeling well, but I want to do a short methane update for you. I'm going to try and do it on a weekly basis with the data that we're seeing. So we're looking at Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Services. Their latest data is from Friday, the 27th. I have the Arctic view pulled up and surface level pulled up. And I've already got the movie loaded. There's the chart down there. I'll just let it run through once so you can see it. It'll smooth out. I hope everyone is doing as well as possible. I just don't do very well in cold weather. What we're seeing here is data from Friday, and then forecast period runs Saturday through Tuesday, and we're seeing in the forecast period a red release coming out here in the Kara Sea, and then look at in the forecast period for Tuesday is a huge red release coming out here in the Laptev Sea and moving out. Watch this. Here's this first wave moving out in the Kara Sea, and then here comes the second wave up from Siberia out, and that's Tuesday. And we've got these huge releases here in Siberia and in Russia over here, and this is at surface level. Now what you're going to see is going to surprise you, because it looks like methane is going up, but on the NOAA data for the 477 millibar level, which is about halfway up in the atmosphere, it's about equivalent to 500 millibar level over here on CAMS. It's actually gone down in the last week. So when it goes up on one area, it goes down other places. So we can see that the methane is coming up through the sea ice that has come back. I'm not going to do a sea ice update, but it's come back. It's thin, but there's sea ice where all this is coming up. So there's the Arctic view. Let's look at the North Pole view. We can see pretty much the whole northern hemisphere here. We're seeing a large release coming off of the east coast of the United States, and we can see this wave moving across the Atlantic. We're also seeing an arm move out from China. Look at this. We're seeing a lot of release in the Indian Ocean still. Oh, and by the way, I am not going to overlay maps of where cows are located to track the farts, the cow farts. So whoever left that comment, if you would like to do that research, you're perfectly you're perfectly welcome to do that yourself, because if you've been here any amount of time, you know that Methane comes from many different sources, and cow farts are only one source. Comes from, there are no cows up here with the methane releasing out of the Arctic Ocean, so there's that. And now let's do a global view. We're still seeing high releases over here in Australia. The wildfires are still burning. It's really tragic over there. If you look closely, there's some releases coming up in the Antarctic around the edges of the coastline where the sea ice is melting. And then if we look at 500 HPA, that's about halfway up in the atmosphere. It's about 18,000 feet. And we have to refresh to get the right color chart for this. They still haven't fixed that. The numbers are overlapping. But we can see that the higher levels tend to gather in the colder areas and in the northern hemisphere, but it is spreading out. We've got some pretty high levels here in Middle Eastern countries and over here over the Pacific too. And then we look at total column, and that's where the methane is added up through all the layers, and it ends up to be total column. And this darkest area is between 1920 and 2320 parts per billion. That's that dark brown. So we can see that in total column, the red is starting to come all the way up through total column around the planet now. It's not just isolated. It used to be isolated over here over China, but it's spreading out now. So let's leave that. Now let's go to our NOAA data. This is the Methane satellite image from yesterday morning, from Saturday the 28th. The mean was 1871. The range was 1429 to 2373 parts per billion. Have a lot of missing data there. The fuchsia color, this is the highest reading. That's from 2000 up to the highest, 2373 parts per billion. That's what you see there. So this is about halfway up in the atmosphere, like what we saw on cams at the 500 HPA. Here's Methane 1 in the afternoon. The mean was 1873. The range was 1446 to 2322. And look at that funny little square. Not only do we have the white missing data, but we've got a little square of gray. I guess that's double missing. Here's the METOP-2 satellite in the morning. The mean was 1851. The range was 1442 to 2347. A lot of fuchsia color there. And METOP-2 in the afternoon, the mean was 1852. And the range was 1455 to 2311. And we put that on the spreadsheet. And here it is from yesterday, the 28th. And we can see that the average for this level is this week is 1861.75 parts per billion. And last week it was 1865. So this week it's 1861.75. Last week it was 1865. So it's gone down 3.25 parts per billion. And so the highest it's been since I started recording this on March 1st was October the 12th. 1885.75, and then it started going down. It goes down and then it might go up a little bit and then down, but it's generally going down right now. And overall it's still 4.5 parts per billion higher than March the 1st. And I wanted to share with you, this is from the NOAA website. This is where they track the methane monthly means. They do it by quarter. The last quarter they have put up the mean August was August 2019, and this is their monthly mean for all levels and all around the world. They had it at 1863.6 parts per billion, and that was up. August of 2018 was 1851.9 parts per billion. So here's their chart. Here, this is from 1980 to 2020, and it's hard to see, it's all jumbled up. Here it's more spread out from 2015, so we can see since 1980 it's been going up. It was about 1630 in 1980, and since then it's been going up exponentially. Here, since 2015, we can see the trend. If we click on this, and this is the year, and these dots are the months, and this was August. That was the last reading that they have up here. So what I've been tracking is more recent than that. But traditionally, July is the lowest month, lowest reading month, and then it starts hopping back up, and then it starts going back down. After around October to November, it starts going down, and then traditionally it goes up a little bit January, February, March, and then it starts going back down until July, and then it starts going back up. But the general, even though it may go down, it's still keeps rising higher than the highest it was from the year before. So there's that. So this is on the NOAA website. You can track CO2, methane, nitrous oxide, and SFs. Now, let's take a peek at Climate Reanalyzer. Here's the temperatures from around the world today. We can see the Arctic is cold, and the southern hemisphere is very hot. Australia is still baking. They still got their fires burning. Here's the 2-meter temperature anomaly map from today. We can see the Arctic. A lot of it is in the blue. A little bit of it is in the brown. We have red over here between Novaya Zemlya and the Yamal Peninsula in the Kara Sea, where we saw the methane coming up. We've also got red up in Canada, red and brown on the eastern side of the United States. Here it is globally. You can see Australia, a lot of that is still in the brown. And then the Antarctic, is a lot of that's in the brown. So worldwide, our readings are it's up 0.6 degrees Celsius higher than normal. The northern hemisphere is 0.8 higher. Southern hemisphere is 0.3 higher. The Arctic is 0.9 higher. And the Antarctic is 1.4 higher. The tropics are 0.6 higher. Now we are in winter time. It's still in the dark in the Arctic, and the Antarctic is still in full daylight. They're in the middle of their summer season there. Here's the precipitation. We're seeing massive precipitation scheduled for or coming from the Midwest across. If you've been watching the news, you know, they've been showing all the snowstorms and rains and everything in the United States. A lot of rain coming across the North Atlantic over to Norway there, it looks like. And it looks like it's snowing over here in the Barents Sea and in the Kara Sea, and a little bit of snow over the Arctic. No rain for eastern Australia. A little bit of rain coming in on the west, northwest there. On our jet stream, it's still crazy. It's still out of control. Looping around. Here's our snow and sea ice. We can see here that the sea ice has come back to the major coastlines and filled the Bering Strait, come back down on the western side of Alaska there. and come up to the coastlines of Canada, coming down along Greenland. Having a hard time on this western edge of Novaya Zemlya and the western edge of Svalbard there still. Sea surface temperature anomaly. This is from yesterday. We can see a lot of brown over here where the Atlantic Ocean is coming up into the Arctic, and red around Iceland here, red and brown around Greenland. So this is where the sea ice is having a hard time coming back. Also brown over here in the Bering Sea area. Brown over here off the coast of Canada. A lot of red here in the North Atlantic. And this area, this red area, has gotten a lot of press this week about the blob of hot air. It's not just hot air, it's sea surface. The water's hot. Nobody can figure out why. That's gotten a lot of press. So here are sea surface temperatures for worldwide. They're up 0.2 degrees Celsius. Northern hemisphere is up 0.3. Southern hemisphere is up 0.1. The North Atlantic is up 0.3. The North Pacific is the hottest, it's up 0.4. The equatorial Pacific is up 0.2. The hottest on the planet is right down here. But I was seeing this week it was hot. It looks like it's gone down a little bit. Let's click around. Now last week it was up into the pink and white zone, which was 6 degrees hotter than normal. But it looks like it's gone down some. But it's a huge area. Nobody can figure out. I was thinking there might be some underwater volcano activity going off that we don't know about. I don't know. So, let's look at earthquakes real quick and then I'm going to wrap it up. Right now we have 281 earthquakes of all magnitudes worldwide. We've had some serious earthquakes this week. Let's look at 7-day all magnitudes. $1,882 worldwide. We've had some big ones down here in South America. 6.0 in Argentina. And see when they're coming gnawing down. All around these red lines. These are the tectonic plates where they meet. I'm particularly watching up here on this Juan de Fuca plate in this Cascadia area. We've had 7 here, right here, on this northern Juan de Fuca plate. The highest one was a 6.3. It's off the coast of Vancouver Island. Then we've had more coming down. We've also had some earthquakes. We had one very near the Oroville Dam area, a 2.5 near Concal, California. This one happened on the morning of December 24th. This is the Oroville Reservoir, and here's the Oroville Dam. And here's Lake Oroville. Here's Oroville. This is Lake Oroville here. We've also had a few decent sized ones in the Tahoe area. 2.7 in Klein Village, and so on. And up here, Pyramid Lake, we're seeing quite a bit of activity. Northern California, North Nevada, and so on. The event area is still shaking. We can still see. This is the Ridgecrest Searles Valley area. They're still rocking every day. Hasn't stopped. And we've had more earthquakes over here in the Philippines. 5.2 there. Just all over the place. Here's a big cluster down here near Fiji. 14. High 4s and 5s. 5.5 is the biggest one, it looks like. Okay, this one just came in. 5.2 southwest of Africa. See these? Look at all of these on this red line. This is the on the edge of the Antarctic plate. And in the last 24 hours, we've been seeing, I've been watching a big cluster here, Puerto Rico. See all these orange ones? These are in the last 24 hours. 114 in this view, including the yellow ones. There's a 4.7. Most of them are in the ocean. The ocean, the water acts as a buffer for the quaking. But this whole Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic area, they've had 219 the last week. So there you have it. Lots of activity here from Alaska down through the Aleutian Islands. We've had some large ones over here in Kamchatka, Russia, that finishes out this Aleutian Island chain. 5.1 and so on. Go back to one day. And then looking at NASA Worldview, that's from yesterday. Here's from today. We're still seeing lots of smoke down here in Australia. If we turn on the fires layer. We can see all the fires still burning. Down here on the west side, up in the north, fires burning all around the world. Oh, I wanted to finish it out with our A68 iceberg. Here's where it is today. We can see it through the clouds, the edge of it. Remember last week it was a little bit even with this little tippy point west. Well, it's moving on out. It's definitely moving. It's kind of turning. It's turning. Here it is from the 25th. Look at the wavy. Here's the 22nd. That's from last week. Okay, here it is from the 21st. So it was more straight up and down. Now it's kind of migrating to the right or to the east. Now watch. In the last week. Oh, there's a big jump. It moved way up to the 25th. And here it is today. We can see it through the clouds. Here's the tippy point, and it's moving over to the right. So go ahead and close out with that. I hope everyone has a safe and peaceful New Year's. We don't know what's in store except more bad stuff. That's kind of what I see. Time is short. I recommend everyone get your spiritual house in order. If you haven't already done so, I recommend getting right with God and Jesus. Because no one knows the day or the hour. And do it now while you still have a chance. If you find my work useful and informative and you'd like to help support the cause, I have a PayPal link below, and you can also subscribe to my Subscribestar page where I put up methane videos and other posts for my members. I do a lot of public posts over there too, but I'm documenting all the CAM's methane data as soon as it comes out. So until next time, I'm praying for everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Go in peace. And goodbye.